again, welcome back to continue working on our React project. And so far we've got, almost all the challenges done, right? I've got my products showing, I've got my category buttons displaying. There's just a couple extra little challenges at the bottom here, right? So one was to display the cost of all the products, right? So let's give that a try, right? So what we're going to do is make a new component. So I'm going to go to app.js here, and I'll make a new component here. I'll call it, let's call it like, let's call it inventory. I don't know, inventory.js, right? So I'll put inventory.js, and then we'll make a function inventory, and we'll return some JSX, right? And maybe we'll export default inventory. Okay, so there's our component. And maybe here we'll wrap this all in a div, give it a class name of inventory. Oops, let's do it uppercase. I like to make this match, right? So these match. And then now we need to display some information, right? You could arguably do this in data.js, right? But maybe we'll do it here just for fun. So I'm going to say import data from ./data, not data JSON, right? Because we want the regular data, right? Actually, it would work either way, but anyway, in this case, I'm going to do it this way, right? And what I want to do is display the total cost of all the products. Now, there is kind of a hiccup here. The price of every product is held as a string, and it starts with the $sign. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to shave off the $sign, like delete the first character, convert what's left into a number, and then add them all up. Okay? So the tool here is reduce, right? Because we're going to take a list of values and reduce them to a single number. Okay? So let's do that. So I'm going to go into, I lost my inventory. There we are, right? So I'm going to go here, and we'll do this. We'll say const total equals data.reduce. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take in an object, right? And we're going to start with a number. So this, if you recall, let me actually write it like this, right? So if you recall, reduce, right, takes a function for the first parameter, and the second parameter is the starting accumulator, right? So we're going to start with a number because we want to, reduce to a number when we're done. So this is kind of the format for the the type for the final, reduce value, right? So total will be a number, okay? And then this function is going to take in each of the objects or each of the elements that are in this array, and then expect us to return the accumulator, and we can modify the accumulator inside the function block. So let's do that. So, and again, we'll have a couple parameters here, so I'll put in the accumulator as the first one, and then the object is the second one. Okay, and then in our code block here, we can do something, and we'll need to return the new accumulator, right? So we can, add a value to it and then return it. So let's do that. Let's say return the accumulator, but I want to return the accumulator plus, and what I want to do is I want to add the object.price like this, right? But now I kind of have a problem, right? Because object price is a string, right? So if I do this and then I say, like, let's actually just do this just for fun, right? If I do total down here, and then we'll put this in Like, so I got the total. I added up the total maybe, right, here, and then I'm going to display it in my component. Let's go into app.js and we'll import that new component. So I'm going to import inventory from ./inventory, and let's display it. So I'm going to put, I've got header, that's this guy. I've got category list, that's these buttons. And then I got the product list here, and then underneath that, maybe I'll add in the inventory, right? And then I get all the prices, right? Because, you know, they're all added up with the $sign, right? And you just see them and they go way off the edge of the page here, right? Forever. And so the problem here is that price is a string, and when we use the plus sign, right, I started with a 0. You can see the 0 here, right? And then I added a string to it, and so then that makes the whole thing into a string. And then every time you do plus with a string, you're just adding to the end of the string. So we'll need to convert this into a number. So, and then it'll fail because I'm gonna do parse float like this, right? And then this is going to fail because if I take the price and it has a $sign in it, right, parse float is going to say, sorry, I can't convert that to a number, right? And then it's going to give me a nan. So when I do this, you can see I get nan. That stands for not a number. So what we need to do is we need to shave off the $sign. So I'm going to do that here. I've got object.price, and then I'm going to say you're a string, so I can slice you. And when you use slice, you can say where to start. So I'm going to start slicing at index 1. So that's the second character in the string. So if my string looked like this, $1207, then slicing would start at the second character if I did slice 0. And then it goes all the way to the end. You can put a second parameter here and you can say where to stop. But I'm going to just start at the first index, or literally the second index, all the way to the end. So I'll slice it, and that should give me a number. And then parse float will be able to turn this piece of the string into a number. Okay? Oh, look at that. I have 9,826 dollars worth of stuff there. So that looks pretty good. Let's do a little bit more. So I think that looks good, but I think what I need to do is also round this off to the nearest 2 decimal places, right? So, you know, since I'm going to get a number here out of reduce, we can just put .to fixed on the end, right? And so again, this is to fixed rounds off to 2 decimal places, right? And then maybe here I'll put a $sign in front there, and it'll add the $sign here, right? Maybe 2. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I like that, but it's a little too small. Maybe I want to make that a little bigger. Let's do H3. How about that, right? There we go. That looks pretty good, right? Let's do total cost of inventory. Yeah, there we go. That doesn't look too bad, right? So why don't we try this? I got a challenge for you, right? Every one of the objects here also has a unit, right? So do we want to know the total number of units for all products? Can you add those up? Okay, let's give it a try. You can stop the video, try it on your own. And then I'll go over the solution now. Okay, so let's follow the same thing we did before. I'm going to say const total units equals data.reduce, right? And then we'll type in the function here and comma, and then we'll give a starting value, and we want to start with a number, so I'll put 0 there. And in the function right here, we're going to receive the accumulator and an object from our data. And what we're going to do is we're going to return the accumulator plus the object dot units. Okay. In this case, I don't have to do anything special with units because units is a number. Okay. So that'll give us the total number of units in, pardon me, in the inventory. And then maybe I'll do, let's do another H3 here just for fun. We'll say total units, right? And then we'll do curly brackets, total units. Looks like I have 50,231 units in the inventory, right? So anyway, so there's like another challenge. Let's do a quick CSS challenge as long as we're just picking up some small things, right? So I like this, but what I really want to do is I want to style that that little span that's here that has the number in it, okay? It might look a little weird with the 100, but we'll give it a try. So let's go to our button, right? So I'm going to go to, you might have made a component, and this is actually where the component would come in handy, right? I'm going to go to category list, right? And there's my button there. And then I have a span here, and this is the thing that we're going to style because we've put the object count in there. You know, actually I see an opportunity here to deconstruct, right? Because I've got object name and object count and object name again. Might be better if we deconstructed that. So I'm going to do that here above the return. So we'll do that first. Let's do a little bit of cleanup here. So let's say name and count from object, right? Actually, you know what's even better is let's move this up here, right? And then that means here we can just say name instead of object.name. And then down here we can say name, and here we can use name, and here we can use count, right? So that didn't break anything, so that's kind of nicer, a little cleaner to read. So now we're going to style this span. So let's go find our style sheet. So here is category list.css. We'll go find that file, and here I am in the category list CSS. Let's do button, and again the span is a child of the button, so we can use the child selector. You could put a class name on it too, you know, and that might be good. I'm going to just do it this way, so I'll put the span on there, and then let's give it a background color of red. Maybe we'll change that red later, but there you go, you can see it there, right? Let's also make it, it's going to display like a little weird, right? It's going to be a little strange there, the way that it lines up, because a span is an inline element, so it displays like text. So I'm going to change its display to inline block, okay? So now you can see it, maybe it's a little, doesn't quite look too different, but it displays a little better, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say text align center to put the text in the middle of the block. And then let's give it a little bit of padding. So we'll say padding of 3 pixels. I don't know. Kind of made my buttons bigger. Maybe that's okay. Oh, there we got a little bit of space there. Let's see here. Maybe we also want to do, let's see, let's do, I feel like we got to round the corner too. So let's do border radius of 50%. It's kind of too oval. We got to make sure the width and the height are the same. So let's see, let's do, actually, you know what we got to do is we got to do this. Let's set the height to 1 rem, and then let's set the width or the border radius to 0.5 rem. So that's almost there. It needs to be a little bit wider. Why don't we do padding? This is the top and bottom. Let's do padding on the left and right of like twice that amount. So that's looking actually not super great, but it doesn't look too bad. So anyway, so there we go. We get part of it working there. I feel like I need a little bit of space now between the badge and the label. So let's give it a little bit of margin. Let's give it a margin of how about 0 on the top and bottom, 0 on the right, 0 on the bottom, and let's do 3 pixels on the left. Maybe a little more than 3. Let's do like 6. That's not too bad, right? You know, maybe that red is a little harsh. Let's change the red color, right? So maybe let's do a little darker like that, right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stick with that. So anyway, there you could play with this, right? So that's just a couple ideas on styling the badge, right? I think this needs a little more work, but it's almost getting there. Maybe let's set the line height to, wait, I did line style. Let's do line height. Oh, I did list, wait, line, there we go. Line, wait, line, okay. Let's set this to 1 rem, right? That the line height there, if we set the line height, it'll center the text kind of in the middle of the box if the line height matches the height. Okay, so that was the goal there. Anyway, so that should get you started, and maybe you could do some more with this. I feel like you could use a little bit of, I feel like I could sit here for an hour just styling this badge, right? I feel like I want to move it up to this corner, but then I feel like I have to move all the other buttons around. But anyway, we'll leave it at this for now. And thanks for watching. And I hope that that was interesting and informative. And you can kind of follow through. There's a couple extra little challenges at the end here, so you can give those a try, right? And we'll cover these in another video too. So one of them is to add a shopping cart. So as you click on products, you can add them to your cart, right? Okay, so anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll cover those other challenges in the next video.